Hello and welcome to another Let's Play. Me, GamerWolfSix of Shelter. Before we start, if you're interested in playing this game, you can get it for free on itch.io. But if you want to support the people that make this game and or get the newest version earlier, you can go to their Patreon, $5 a month. So, on the last Let's Play, we were still Alon, basically Max's twin brother. And he was attacked, but not really, by ice wolves. And but Burry saved him. Which Burry's like, hey, I'm not your enemy. You need to chill a little bit. And let's have a little chat. At which point, Aelon wanted to kill him, but then was like, actually, no, this guy's pretty nice and stuff. Nothing like I thought it would be. But then Burry was like, yeah, I didn't experiment on my brothers because they were corrupted in the corrupted lands by the wolves. I actually turned them myself, at which point that sent Aelon over the edge, at which he attacked Burry. And now we're here. It do be like that sometimes. He did experiment on Trailjoin. So I just set my face. And start. Crap. My ribs hurt again. Always happens when I climb these steep stairs. How much longer is this gonna take for the pain to go away? It's been almost a month since that battle with Tangaroot. We both hurt each other pretty severely before I fled. His physical prowess caught me by surprise. When he came back to shelter, he already had his fingers reattached, but I had neither the Silurian mana mastery nor the help of the relic to heal my ribs right away. I aided myself with Surian mana on the last expedition, but that's still not enough. I wish I had better affinity with that power. But that doesn't matter. I'm not some fragile bird or rat. I'm a canine, and I'll patch myself up soon enough. I don't have the time to stop. My brother stays in shelter and preserves his strength. I have no choice but to lead the expeditions far and wide in search of anything that could have potential to help him. I found something that could possibly be of use. I don't know what specific use without the human's appraisal. I can tell for sure it's full of strongly concentrated feline mana. We'll get to investigate it soon. For now, I just want to find Max and have a meal with him. It's been almost a week-long expedition, and I've missed him so much. Ooh, Master Acri, welcome back. Ooh, Malt, have you seen Max? Yes, he's up with the human. They're making those funny noises again. Okay. Funny? What? I don't know, like bird-like, quiet howling thing. Is that like air flute or something? I think they call it a songing or something with their mouths. Oh, whistling? That doesn't sound like Max. He doesn't speak. Well, I guess not, but he sure does song. I only found out because I once heard him do that, and it's kind of sound like he was in pain, so I rushed to help. But no. Even if it sometimes sounds like he's being flayed alive, I think that's just part of the art. He definitely got a little better since last time. They've been at it for like weeks. I'm surprised you didn't know. Oh no, I hope it wasn't secret or anything. Oh no. Max, using his voice? How? When? Why would they make it a secret or something like that? I pat the dog's head and hurry upstairs, as fast as my aching ribs let me. Once I finally arrive at the top deck, I stretch my life-sensing empathy to my limits, searching for Max and the human. The place is too big for me to sense them, but after greeting and talking with a few more dogs, I finally get their general location. It's a spot near the edge of shelter they apparently visited regularly. When I look in that direction, it's too far for me to see anything. They could also be covered by the buildings. Also, what is this a picture of? Like a radio station or a satellite station? Kind of like the thing from like GoldenEye. It may be to my advantage. I think I could be useful. It could be useful to me to observe them unnoticed at first and see what they do alone together before I reveal myself to them. As I plan out my course of action, something catches my attention. Weird movements high in the sky. However, when I try to look at it, I get blinded by the brightness of the midday sun. Once my eyes get used to the light, I can't spot anything in the sky anymore. Did I just imagine it? Am I so tired that I'm starting to see things that aren't there? It's weird that for some reason I sometimes sense color changes in the screen. Of course not. I have full confidence in my own senses. Something's out there. A flying monster or something. It's concerning it came so close to shelter. But that's a worry for later. For now, I calm down and clear my mind to erase my presence as I walk toward Max's and the human's hiding place. Since I can't use empathy during my stealth state, I decide to follow by scent. Max is a clean boy with a scent so similar to mine that I would have a hard time catching it in open windy fields like this, but the human's musk is different. It's so strong and sharp, so overwhelming, like it doesn't care about being hidden at all. It announced itself so boldly in such a brutal, intimidating manner, so clear even in this wide open space. I used to find it disturbing, but over the months of seducing the human, I started to find the scent really comforting. Even right now, following that trail, I start to feel warm and happy inside. Now you mean seducing or you mean fucking? It's the unusual reaction, considering I don't plan, yeah, it seems to be, like, less dark now, plan to interact with a human right away, so there's no direct benefit of me faking a show of attachment already. I guess I've been doing it for so long that all of this became an automatic reaction, kind of like that famous canine experiment where a dog was conditioned to climax at the sound of a bell. Okay. I mean, that's the Pavlovian thing, but it's true at the sound of a bell. Good. I can use it. It's going to make my work easier later. Finally, I start hearing something unusual. Two voices, not speaking, but still making sounds. Quickening, slowing down, twisting sharper and duller in unexpected ways. Just like Mold said, it really sounds like something avians would do. The whole songing thing with their beaks. Two voices here aren't as polished as birds, but they don't sound entirely unpleasant either. I can recognize the human's voice. It's deeper than the other one. The other one. Oh, my dog. Heh, nice. You like that one too, right? I'm glad. We came up with it together with Sansun and my little brother. He had a brother? It was my first melody we created without Dad's input, so it was a little simplistic and rough. Okay, where are the other humans then? But Dad always encouraged us to express ourselves with confidence. He told us that expression through one's voice is a gateway to true power. People of the realm have grown quiet and forgetful, he said, but some of the most impactful events in old history were accompanied by important songs. The canines howl, but they don't sing anymore. However, that is still a tradition widely celebrated among the avians, and I can't see why it couldn't be reintroduced here. You're certainly getting better with your own voice, Max. One of these days, you may even come up with your own melody. What do you think? Are you up to the task? when did that happen? Where did Max regain his voice? He still seems unable to say words, but the thing he's doing now, singing, that's certainly his voice. I observed them from my hiding, struggling to keep my emotions at bay. He looked so happy with the human, just like he used to do with me, or be. Where was I when it happened the first time? On an expedition? Negotiating deals with Marsbrook merchants and officials? I wish I was with him instead, but I know that all of that work we've been doing was what gave Max the proper environment to heal in the first place. My lips tremble while I watch both of them sitting and humming their melody. This is all I wanted for him. Peace, safety, a proper pack. Now, everything's just right. At least, for as long as it lasts. I see in the way he keeps his legs that his condition is deteriorating. He keeps them straight and doesn't move them. They must be bothering him more and more now. His spine. After the confederation with Burry Tangaroot, after I came back to shelter with broken ribs, or confrontation, and he followed soon after with his fingers barely reattached with the relic's power, we were forced by the human to explain ourselves. I shared the details of Max's condition with him, and with no other options left to me, I agreed to let Tangaroot examine and work out a solution. We never really came to see eye to eye, Burry and I, not after we almost murdered each other. But I trusted the human enough to count on him to make sure no harm would come to Max, while I myself chose to leave for an excavation in order to not interrupt that process. He didn't regain his voice just from that examination, did he? From what I understand, this whole business started a while ago. Come to think of it, I remember the human mentioned to me he started hanging out with Max more. I didn't think much of it at the time. Yeah, it definitely isn't thanks to Tangaroot. I spoke to him earlier, after my return. Although the communication between us was short and awkward, at the very least, I gathered what the examination wasn't as fruitful as I hoped. I can understand the process to some degree, but I lack the tools and resources to help him at the moment, he said, and apologized. I know it feels pretty hopeless. The leash, the opal pride. Sorry. Reading makes me on. Latched on us. They were so confident, setting us out on missions precisely because they made sure we would always be dependent on them. But I'm not going to give up. It's pretty rough, but as long as we're alive and free, there must be things we can still do. I have another meetup scheduled with my informant tomorrow, midnight. I'm gonna find out what Tangaroot needs, and then we'll find solutions. Yeah, we'll hurry. We'll make it in time for sure. His new beginning, with his new pack, in his perfect den. Can't all in now. I wonder if the Opal Pride's gonna find them, but just gonna be one of them, at which point he's gonna sacrifice himself and say that, Max is dead because, breaking down his spine. They both stop. They look around. Instinctively, I take a few steps back. Did I break my stealth state? And Max knows me with empathy? Empathy. Crap. Okay, go in there and say hello. You weren't spying on them. You just wanted to make a surprise. Yeah. Let's... Woo. Huh? The sky grows dark for a split second, and then something big, screaming, hits me from the side, with the speed of an arrow and the impact of a rushing bull. One of my arms gets stuck under chain belts of some kind, of a big blasting metal relic box, strapped over the Shouting Kenning's back torso. dragging me over the smooth surface of metal floor. Okay, let me understand that. I don't understand. We're going to crash against the wall. The sharp twist and turn leaves me lightheaded as we suddenly shoot straight up in the skies, avoiding the metal wall and racing us above the summit of all the nearby hills in what feels like less than 2 seconds. I struggle to catch my breath for a short moment and lose all feeling in my limbs. I try to force movement in any of my muscles until I can finally sense friction in my forearm. As I completely untangle from the chains, and the relic's user flies off without me. He grows distance between us as I fall back towards the ground from hundreds of meters high. Chains? So some sort of relic user that's trying to kill him? Is this an assassination attempt? Crap. What should I do? How do I survive? I have to land into the biggest mound of snow. Max. Oh, Acri. Oh, mate. I feel a rough tug at my scruff, and I finally stop descending. Rune, the user of the flying backpack relic, saves himself midair, so we only hover. I'm so terrified of heights, I can't help but curl up like a little puppy in his grasp, with my knees and tail raised into my belly, and he turns me around and looks at me with that bright, irresponsible grin. Sorry. I'm still getting the hang of this relic. I call it Chains of Liberty, because it lets you, fly through the skies like an avian winds of liberty. But you have to strap that box. And those chains around you to feel its freedom. And I just love oxymoronic names. You know? It's pretty clever, huh? Acri? Are you okay? How come you always cry whenever we come face to face? Same as the day in that palace. Wait, did you just pee yourself? Down. Please. Down. Please. There's a surprise. Oh, like you just realized that hovering hundreds of meters over the ground may be uncomfortable for some dogs. He tugs me under his arm and presses some buttons at the palm side of the relic glove of his left hand and twists his body, so we start descending towards the top of one of the tall hills towering over shelter. Once we finally hit the ground, I curl in a ball in the snow and hyperventilate. Now that I'm finally safe and my blood stops boiling, the renewed pain in my limbs returns tenfold. That's gonna set me back into my recovery, but I don't care. I'm just glad I'm alive. I don't want to feel like that ever again. Are you okay, mate? Yeah. Sorry about that. This relic is clearly designed to be used with 2 hands, with the controls on the gloves, but I was trying to master it with just 1 hand, and flexing my body and stuff. I think I'm getting the hang of it now. Good. I'm happy for you. You're so cute when you're like that. I should traumatize you more often. Oh, I'm joking, of course. Sorry, that wasn't appropriate. It's okay. I'll be fine. You look happy. Even more so now, getting the hang of it with you. It doesn't happen often. I'm usually busy with, stuff. Like taking care of the whole shelter, training newcomers in battle arts, keeping everyone in check. Although, in the last regard, you and your pack are doing most of the heavy lifting now. Gives us all a chance to put our time and focus elsewhere. Thank you, Acri. I'm glad you and Max are here with us. He told me about Max. Burry, I mean. Oh. Yeah, that's rough, mate. We started thinking of ways to approach it. Trust me, we'll do everything we can, and we'll pay the price to help him. Any price. Thank you. You should have told us sooner. I know you have your secrets, but we're not strangers here. We're all a pack. You can trust us. Believe in us. You said Luke would be able to help him. I heard Max using his voice again. I've never seen him so happy. See? Told you. But that's not enough. Nothing's really changed. The fact he's so happy right now makes it even worse. He'll think of something. You haven't seen what he can do yet. You and Luke have grown really close. Intimately, even. It makes me a little jealous. You wouldn't share a bed with him if you didn't get a glimpse of his true nature, right? You wouldn't share a bed with him if... Oh. His true value? Huh? Yes. I saw it right from the start. Even if the rest of those simpletons are too absorbed in their canine pride, it was obvious to me that the human was the key of influence and shelter. But I know that's not what Rune insinuated. Before he even finishes his question, I invoke feelings of infatuation inside my mind, to feed his empathy with those emotions. I picked and cataloged a few experiences to instantly grasp on every time I want to show those feelings to others. It's an old and well-known practice in empathetic deception. The moments the human attacks Shad bark to protect me, the beautiful blue sky hue in his eyes, the way he drowns me in his scent right before he finishes inside me. Oh, so you were intimate. Ooh, woo. I wag a nod, glancing to the side in a way to display shyness. Yeah, he's a good guy. Stronger than he looks, so kind and honest to a fault. I love him, and I always believe in him, but... oh wow. I can't believe it. I did not see it before. Burry was right. You're really good at lying. Exclamation marks. What? What are you? I mean, that's fine, mate. Relax. Although, it feels like I don't have to teach you how to relax. It took you pretty much no time to switch from a very genuine, chaotic fear to a neatly constructed ignorance. Ah, no. Wait. You added a little chaos to it just now. Interesting. What are you on about, Chief? Of course, my mind will get jumped if you keep commenting on it out loud. Oh, jumbled. You're weird. It's okay. I told you. You don't have to worry about anything with me. My appreciation for you, for your work hasn't changed. I just want to make sure I speak with the real Acri. If that's even your real name. Yes, it is. As real as it gets. I had new names prepared for us, but I messed up and gave the human our old ones. I don't care if you believe me or not. Is this an interrogation? Oh, no. It's not at all. I just want to talk with you. And don't worry. I can tell you're being honest now. You never called Luke by his species name before. Oh, no. I swear that's not. Chill, Agri. It's okay. I'm not judging. I'm just happy we can finally talk freely, without pretense. He puts his hand on my shoulder and smiles, wagging his husky brush over the sparkling snow. He's friendly, and I can tell there's some honesty in his happiness. But I'm trained well enough to sense vague tension, hidden at the core of those pleasantries. Despite his reassurances, I can tell the legendary canine Rune, the former second high-pack general, of the Crimson Grove, is definitely interrogating me. So you had new names prepared, huh? What did you come up with? Oh, nothing special. Salt and pepper. Oh, my dog. That's so cute. Let me guess. You were Salt and Max was Pepper, right? Yeah, because salt can improve all other flavors, and pepper packs a punch. You say it's nothing special, but you gave so much thought even to those nicknames. I love it. We should use those names for you too, from now on. He laughs, rubbing my shoulder with a little more strength, giving the side of my chin a playful scratch. I don't sense any hostility in his words or actions, but feeling so exposed in front of him instinctively puts me back on guard. Despite the good-natured and seemingly carefree attitude he developed over the past months, I'm actually very well aware it's all but a very thin veil over the clever, calculating, and dangerous warrior underneath. Did he really catch me, bringing me here on accident? Or did he plan all that? I didn't see him flying over shelter when I was still outside. If he knew I returned, and he was also aware of Max's whereabouts, then it's not unreasonable to assume he could arrange this whole accident to stabilize my mind through fear of flying so high in the sky in order to hinder my deception, and then take me to a spot none of my men can reach before confronting me for information. Am I reading too much into it? You know, we all knew you two were special from the start, but hearing about Max's condition, everything starts making more sense, and at the same time is even more mind-blowing. You already shared you grew up among the cats, so I assume we're not struggling. You were struggling not too long after birth. That's really sad. Infants are still strongly connected to the land they were born through, so they're more resistant to the influence of corrupted soil. You couldn't have been older than a few months when that happened, right? I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I know. Sorry. Still, Max's methods of invoking the effects of feline styles. You weren't enslaved by just anyone, right? People with resources to do something so awful and impressive had to be equally awful and impressive themselves. If I were to guess, was it the Lion King himself, perhaps? I always wondered if he's as big and buff as our spies say. I never met the king. We weren't brought up anywhere near that capital. In the country, you have your call of the wild, sulking in the shadows, and the cats have their own shady, unaligned groups too. More than just one. We come from one of those prides. We were trained as assassins against dogs. That day, we met at the castle. You were our target, Rune Moon. But he changed my mind after hearing your speech. He takes his hand off my shoulder. He doesn't show on his face, but he's surprised. I can sense his analytical mindset, straining and failing to latch onto any grains of deception. My honesty is making him confused. Okay, that's quite a lot to take in. Which pride was it, if you don't mind me asking? It's okay. I don't mind telling you. But it really doesn't really matter. Do you think we still work for them or something? No, of course not. But, an order is both the intel and resource enough to continue Burry's experiments. An order with both the intel and resource. Oh, not order as in tell them what to do, but orders in group. It wasn't like the Opal Pride, was it? Some of the things I've read in our reports were, sounds like you already know, and all you want from me is just a confirmation. Sorry, Acri, I mean no offense. It's just that I'm curious, is all. They are all sick people and very, very crafty bastards. Even for cats. Not all cats are like that, Chief. I know. But, most of them don't say things like that. This goes both ways, We aren't blind to what the canines do to their own people either. We, huh. Or we, huh. It's not going to be a fruitful conversation if we start picking on each other's words, Chief. Ah, yeah, sorry. Ignore me. I was just thinking out loud. I'm just curious about you. We never had a chance to talk so honestly, and I'm trying to get to know you, you know? Does that make sense? Hey, no need to get upset. I really didn't mean to. You want to know where my loyalty stands. Is that it? I can't believe that you, out of all people, would insinuate something like that. After everything you yourself went through, and where you are now. Chief, we hadn't seen the sun through most of our puppyhood. Before our train started, we spent most of our time in cages, underground. There were many cages there, each of them obviously used before. You could smell it, but he couldn't recall anyone ever living in those empty cages. We were very little. We didn't know anything about corruption at that time. We were taught speech, but other than that, we were no more than livestock used for those experiments they apparently couldn't get right after so many tries. Luckily, they let me and Max stay together for all that time, not out of kindness, but purely as a merit to the project. After all, they worked based on buried Tangroot's data, and he recognized interpersonal connections as a source of potential that could be utilized for power. I think they were right, because when our turn came, they brought us to the room together, and it was right there when they explained corruption to us. And they told Max that if he turns during or after that operation, it would be my turn next. They let me stay with him and hold his hands as they cut them. And Max. I feel lightheaded and cold for moments. I hold onto my own shoulders, trembling. I nearly throw up. That's a memory I try to keep as far away from my waking mind as I can most of the time. This is actually the first time I've ever shared it with anyone, and it doesn't bring me any relief at all. Crap. Acri, listen. If you're asking me if I have any loyalty left for the people who did all of that, and so many years of even more unforgivable things to us, then no, I don't. Shelter is my home, and everyone here is my family. I have no attachment to that other country. We are dogs, not cats. We are Shelter, not the Opal Pride. But Chief, there were mostly other cats in those cages, not dogs. They were like siblings to us, and their fate was no better or less senseless than ours. I came here to Shelter because this place, where outside politics don't matter, right? We're hurt by cats, but not all cats are evil. That's all I was saying. I'm sorry, Acri. Truly. I never doubted you were on our side. That was evident in everything you did for us. Walking around, rousing, uniting people against injustice. That's kind of the dedication that had come from an honest heart. You did so much for us, and we want to do everything in our power to help you with our struggle, mate. Thank you. That means a lot to us. Yeah, and don't mean it just as empty promises. I need to have this talk with you, because the only thing we could come up with may involve some careful political negotiations. and your path could stand as a bit of an obstacle if we weren't absolutely sure we're on the same page. What do you mean? We all know how much Max means to you. You could do anything to help him, right? Or you would. Yes? We feel the same way. We want to do something in our power to aid you guys. Unfortunately, Burry has neither the tools nor the resources even to attempt helping your brother. However, both of us know people of influence. We could possibly consider asking for help. And you're talking about the Crimson Royal Grove. You know, neither Burry nor I would throw the idea like that lightly. If possible, we would be glad to never hear of that place ever again. But that is the best we can think of. We love both of you, you and Max, and are willing to compromise our principles for your sake. But of course, that would come at a price. That day at the castle, I made it quite clear I didn't want the Grove to even dare to look in our direction. It actually worked very well. The most they've done to us so far was passive-aggressive relocation of their administrative and economic resources to the other parts of the country, without hindering us directly. Only through inaction. It is likely they want to show us that they aren't in a hurry because we can't stay self-sustained for long anyway. I mean, they aren't completely wrong. Even now, we still depend on food deliveries from the south by free merchants, and we have to pay greatly inflated prices for that. The good boys of Moserbrook aren't quite upset at us for that, as you know. Thank dog that their patience and our continued efforts at keeping their partnership with us on good terms. Burry and Luke are trying to get those gardens and shelter up and running, but that doesn't seem to be going anywhere. The truth is, we need the South, and probably always will need to some degree. And now, us crawling back to the Grove, asking for help, after declaring our independence so boldly? We're going to be at the disadvantage in those negotiations, to put it very lightly. If we don't get straight up denied, they will aim to establish a degree of control and shelter. If we want to avoid giving the whole metaphorical meat tree, we have to offer them a bone meaty enough to be worth their hurt pride. I haven't spoken with Luke about it yet. He's been weirdly distant for a while now. You know, disappearing for hours at a time. Seems all distracted whenever I speak to him. So I thought maybe it would be best if you talked to him first. He acts like a completely different person when you're around, in a good way. I'm afraid he wouldn't take my suggestions too well. What suggestion? What do you want to give the wolves? Well, there would be 3 main stages of offers, depending on how difficult they would be to bargain with. First, we try to convince them with samples of Burry's research discoveries he's gained since the time he parted with Grove. It's not much, but Burry's words hold a great promise of power, and they all know that. We'll try to greatly overplay that and settle the negotiations at that stage. Ideally, we would establish a study in Moserbrook for the whole purpose of helping Max. We would request assistance of good scholars and all the resources Burry would need for that endeavor. However, as much as we hope to settle the negotiations at that stage, Repaired's promise of power alone might not be enough. In that case, we would offer tribute of power manifested. Moon passed a relic backpack strapped around his back and torso. You would give him a relic? If one would be enough, that would be amazing, but we have to prepare more. So far, our prospectors have distributed some decent relics down south, but we made sure from the start to buy and keep the most powerful ones to ourselves whenever Luke ascertained their potential. Something flashy would make for the best bargaining meat chops. Something that would give them a taste of what the relics are truly capable of, and why we are both to be feared and beneficial to work with. We have a few exceptional tools that reveal some of the ancient technology potential in a straightforward but impressive manner. The Chains of Liberty, granted their user avian flights with the force of a hurricane. Buri's bright color and its unparalleled Silurian regeneration, making any warrior immortal. Thistle's advantage of holding, bearing open the shift of unrestrained access to the nigh limitless vault. The Amber Circuit, turning anyone into an unstoppable blazing bull. I believe that one belongs to an acquaintance of yours. If only we could find the relic that can simulate the feline power of destruction, the tributes set would be completed. I would ask for your assistance in convincing owners of some of those relics to part with them for a mission that would give us a great negotiating power. You want to take some of our most powerful relics? Our most invaluable assets? And give them to the wolves? Your greatest enemy? Yes. That's how much both of you mean to us. No. Huh? No, we're not doing that. I don't understand. Why not? You said it yourself. You're out of time and options. This is the best we can do to give you a chance. The relics are our greatest strength, the only upper hand we have over all those powerful kingdoms and prides. And you want to give it to them as tribute? You're going to ruin our advantage for just one dog? This isn't just any dog, Acri. It's your brother. Are you seriously trying to tell me you'd rather keep the relics than, say, Max? What you're suggesting isn't a fair exchange. You're giving up on everything we've built, merely for a chance to help him. And even if we succeed, even if everything goes according to plan, and ends like we hope, we would find ourselves on a slippery slope of dependency on the kingdom, no matter how much you think your tribute would limit that. You know how these men of power work. What is the point of saving Max if we would have to sell a piece of his freedom for that? I don't want him to just be alive. I want him to be happy too. We don't have much choice right now. Keeping Max alive takes priority. Whatever comes next, we'll deal with it when the time comes. To be honest with you, I thought you'd be on board with our plan from the get-go. You and Max always seemed so protective of each other. Your words, they surprise me. We're not giving the relics to the wolves. Fine. As I said, I had 3 stages of bargaining planned for that. The relics would just be the second stage. The final one is very uncomfortable, and dangerous, and unpredictable. But that could be enough to convince them, maybe even without letting go of the relics. Something more valuable than the relics? A lot would depend on you here, Acri. Your way with words. You, who is the closest with Luke right now. Although if you ask him, I suspect he wouldn't need much convincing. Luke? Yes. I thought that if neither the knowledge nor the tools of manifest power would be enough to convince them, then maybe the source of impossible potential could stir their curiosity. And that could be achieved if we offered their scholars all of Bury and my knowledge, along with a vial of Luke's blood. These are long episodes. Well, I think that's a good time to call it again. This does seem to be longer than I thought it would be, but, you know, I have been gone for a bit. And also, you know, it could always be the thing where I'm like, where I start the next one's like, and hello, and oh, that's the end of that Let's Play. So anyways, please comment, guys. I like comments. Tell me what you like, dislike, tips, tricks, otherwise. If you like me YouTube and like see grow, then please like, subscribe, and check out the videos epic grow, and please don't spend your ammo so I have control of the pit population. And until next time, let's say, me, GamerWolfSix, I've showed you all. So thanks and see ya.